Welcome to the Weather Guru Podcast for October 14, 2024. I'm your host, Tony. Thank you for joining me on this Monday edition. Right now, we're looking at frost and freeze advisories for the upper Midwest in the blue and green here. I'm in the purple and light blue here for most of North the Dakotas, Nebraska, Iowa, the Four Corners, as well as down into Missouri and Nebraska. First freeze and freeze warnings also into the central highlands of Pennsylvania as well. So this is going to be happening before Halloween here. So just be careful if you're along there. Protect sensitive plants and animals and bring in some of your other things and put a sheet over your windshield of your car to protect the windshield from frost and freezing if you don't mind scraping anything off in the mornings. We also have a wind advisory in the Appalachians here from Asheville, Boone, back into southern Virginia here as well. High winds are going to be coming as a cold front that's coming through, and that's bringing these frost and freeze advisories, as well as Michigan. Be careful if you're in Kalamazoo, Grand Rapids, up through Cadillac, Michigan on Highway 131 there. Houghton, Michigan as well. Winds coming out the lake there provide to be calming. Get that freeze warning in effect as well for you guys. Down south, we had those elevated coastal flood warnings continuing south of Jacksonville. So if you're on the St. Johns River there, Palatka, Interlaken, some of those counties, Green Cove Springs, St. Augustine, be careful. And some of these rivers down here, of course, that were elevated in southwest Florida and as well as central Florida there. So be very careful there. Now, 2024 hurricane season is here, but we're reaching the ending toward the last 10 to 15% of activity here as we head toward November 30th, our end date for the season officially. As you can see, we've had our peak at September 10th, then we had our secondary peak around October right now, and then we're heading on the downward slope here for as hurricanes and tropical storms is concerned. If you look at the current tropical precipitable water PWAT values here, you can see it's pretty much going to be the origin activities in the Western Gulf and the Western Caribbean, although we still can get some storms out here in the far Cape Verde Seas in Africa. It's pretty rare that we have it this time of year. 2024 tracks, as you can see, we've had all these storms: Debbie, Francine, Helene. We've had 5 landfalling hurricanes in the U.S., continental U.S. Milton is not on here, but Milton, of course, made landfall last week there as well in southwest Florida. So we've got all the storms here. Then we had some other storms that was fish storms: Ernesto, Isaac, Gordon, and of course could be possibly Nadine too as well. Now, this is the current water vapor. You can see it's dry air here in orange here, very dry air in Florida, Georgia, the southeast, up into the mid-Atlantic areas, and as well as out west here in the Midwest, the Plain States and Texas, as well as in the Southwest, the desert Southwest. Pretty dry air continues to make its way in through those areas here, and that's going to aid into the cooling effect of fall time feeling here. Also, you can see here we are investigating area 94L here. It's pretty much this area I was showing in the Central Atlantic. It's pretty much just a blob of showers right now. Doesn't look like much. It's fighting a lot of wind shear and of course dry air that's well out into the Atlantic there. So it has a ways to go, but the spaghetti models does show it bringing nice beneficial rainfall into Hispaniola, possibly north of Puerto Rico and Anguilla and the U.S. and British Virgin Islands there. But be on the lookout because this storm could be heading toward Turks and Caicos, the greater Antilles. It could bring rainfall and it could develop into a weak tropical storm. Right now, it's not showing much at all right now, so it may dissipate on its own. Hurricane Center only gives it a 10% chance of development, and it's just going to be very hard for it to develop way out here on the Cape Verde season, way out here, coming out of Africa, because it struggles with the trade winds, like I said, the wind shear, and then the dry air. And the Saharan dust layer is still present, even though it's minimal out there, but it's still present out there nonetheless. So we have just a bunch of disorganized showers here, like I said, southeast of Bahamas and the Exuma Islands and Lethe Islands. We have some showers here off the coast of Belize, Honduras, Nicaragua. Nothing going on there, but you can see that 10% chance there, 50% chance in 7 days for developing here as it get closer to the greater Antilles here later on in the forecast period. So we have a couple of days, probably 6-7 days to watch this if it even becomes anything of it. Now in the Eastern Pacific, we have nothing going on there, so great news for those going to Cabo San Lucas or into central Mexico, Oaxaca, or anything like that. Nothing going on there, and nothing going on in Hawaii as well. Tropical cyclones is not expected for Hawaii Islands, the Big Island, or Honolulu, or any of the other Kauai, or any of the other islands that may experience. So that's great news for you guys out there. Now, once again, these hazards, you definitely want to protect yourself, your plants, and sensitive animals, and bring in anything, and also protect your car there. Like I said, spray vinegar and water on your windshield, or put a car cover over your windshield as we get our first freeze of the season. Once again, for South Dakota, North Dakota, Nebraska, Omaha, all the way down through the 29 corridor, Jefferson, Missouri, into the Quad Cities of Iowa and Illinois, and then over toward the central Michigan, and then over towards Central PA there, Bradford, PA, and up along just north of the I-80 Turnpike there. You want to protect your everything as we get our first freeze and frost, hard freeze of the season here in the middle of October. So we get it 2 weeks earlier. Usually it comes around Halloween. Just after Halloween we start getting freeze and frost advisories, but it comes a little bit earlier this year as we get ready to transition deep into fall season here. So this has been the Weather Guru update for October 14th, 2024. Enjoy your holiday weekend if you're off today. If you're not, God bless you. Thank you for all you do. Please subscribe to this channel. I appreciate everyone's support here as we continue to look at weather in the lower 48 as well as tropical conditions. Talk to you soon.